a quiet crease of County Down coast, where the land meets the murmuring sea, lies Killough, a village not built in haste, but gently coaxed into being by the tides of time and by the hands of one man's vision. It's here that the stones speak, the salt air is thick with memory, and the harbour, though silent, echoes still with the ghosts of ships long gone. Long before these streets were led with passion and purpose, the shore was home to a humble gathering of fishermen, their cottages haunched against the wind, their days tethered to the moods of the sea. But it was the Enlightenment century, the 18th century, that Killough was awakened, not by kings nor generals, not by war or turmoil, but by a man of quiet determination, John Southwell. The name Southwell, a noble English family, became the architect of a dream. Where others saw a wild and windswept shore, John Southwell saw possibility. He led his village like a poem, each street a stanza, each house a well-measured line, and so Killough took form, graceful, ordered, Georgian, and yet always with one eye on the sea. The Palatines were Protestants from the region of Germany. In the early 1700s, they were displaced by war, famine, and religious persecution. The wealthy Southwell family of Castle Matrix in County Limerick played a personal role in rescuing and assisting the Palatines. John Southwell arranged for them to be brought to Ireland and settled on the family estates of Limerick and County Down. The town contains 247 houses built along the margin of the bay and carries on a considerable coasting trade with principal ports in the Irish Channel. The chief exports being corn and live cattle, of the former of which very great quantities are shipped, and the principal imports are coal and salt. A lucrative fishery is carried on off the coast. Haddock and whiting are taken in great quantities, and from 12 to 20 boats are daily employed during the year. The manufacture of salt is also carried on upon a small scale. By the waning of the century, Killough had grown busy and bold. Grain sailed from its quay to the wide world beyond, to Liverpool, to Glasgow, and to far-off ports unknown. It became for a time the very breath of Killough, a vital lung through which commerce and culture passed. And still today, the curve of the harbour holds this history, cradled like an old song in the hush of salt and stone. To the south across fields, golden with gorse, rises the striped sentinel of St. John's Point, a lighthouse, steadfast and tall, watching as ships once did for peril in the deep. It too is a relic of vision, painted now in bands of yellow and black. It stands as both guardian and ghost, a monument to the mariner's peril and the village's dependence on the tide. Walk a while along the Killough coast, and the world slips away. The lane becomes a ribbon through memory. The hedge grows a theatre for linnets and breeze. Each gust whispers of wrecks, of lovers lost, of fortunes flung like driftwood on the shore. And Killough itself becomes a dreamlike, a half-remembered verse from a book long closed. Near the bend of the harbour, worn by salt and time, there lingers a remnant of stone, the last breath of a castle that once kept watch over wind and wave. No banners fly now, no guards keep post, But in that crooked wall, the sentries murmur still of lords and raiders, of moonlit sailings and whispered plots. Before the measured elegance of John Southwell's village, this was a place of grit and grindstone, where might made right, and every tower kept one eye on the sea. The castle was most likely a small tower house dating from the late 16th or 17th century. It was typical of defensive residences built by Anglo-Normans and Gaelic chiefs along the eastern coast. Its purpose was likely strategic and economic, overseeing the trade and fishing activity of the harbour and protecting access to the bay. There is no definitive record naming the builder, but it was likely constructed by either the Fitzgeralds, the Earls of Kildare, powerful landowners with holdings in Lochiel during the late medieval period, or possibly a branch of the MacCartan or the Le Sauvage families, both of whom had influence in Lochiel. By the waning of the century, Killough had grown busy and bold. Grain sailed from its quay to the wide world beyond, to Liverpool, to Glasgow, to far-off ports unknown. It became for a time the very breath of Lochiel, a vital lung through which commerce and culture passed. And still today, the curve of the harbour holds this history, cradled like an old song, in the hush of salt and stone. As evening slips like silk across the water, the village returns to stillness. The tide, the timeless guest, rises once more. Killough is no longer a place of power nor port. It is a poem now, a place to feel, not to conquer. As I turn to leave, I find myself wondering, do the waves remember the ships? Do the stones recall the builder's voice? I like to think that they do. Sinks low on the golden sky. Shadows lengthen as the day whispers goodbye. I've been traveling this road so long, chasing down my dreams to the place where I belong. I hear it call out to me, closer, drag